The info, education, and coaching industries are going through a long overdue reset, and it's about f***ing time. Now hear me out. Online courses and programs have provided some of the most transformational and valuable information in every aspect of my life. The kind of information that I couldn't get from traditional primary, secondary, and tertiary level education. But right now in 2025, we're seeing the cracks starting to show. Everyone trying to push you into a DM automation, lead magnet, or a paid community. And the worst of it all is from so-called experts or gurus that haven't even personally achieved the results that they're actually claiming they can give for you, or there being any way of actually verifying if they've done what they've said they've done. And just look around. I feel like every single month there is a new announcement coming from a 7-figure online business owner that is shutting down or closing their 80% plus profit business, all telling you they're burnt out because the model that they were not only running themselves, but teaching their clients and customers to model themselves aren't sustainable. But yet it pains me that these genuinely transformative courses and teachers, those that are genuinely inspired and called to impact and deliver real results to people, not just maximize how much they're earning, are being washed out in a sea of noise that has hype, over the top guarantees, and promises that are just becoming bullshit. It feels like no matter where you turn online, organic, paid, or somewhere in between, everybody is trying to sell you their course, bro. I technically play a part of that myself. If we haven't met, hey, I'm Daniel Mamba. I'm currently the 2IC of a 7-figure online education business called Time to Build by Tom Nosk. If you don't believe me and you want to check it out, head to the link in the description. I'm saying that not to sell. I'm saying this because if I was in your position, I'd probably be skeptical of my claim. And so I feel like I owe it to you and respecting your time and your intelligence to go and form your own conclusions. And I hope that what I have to share is of some value to you if any of this message resonates. I've worked in both the growth, operations, and marketing teams at both Uber and Google in the first 6 years of my career. So I know a thing or two about scaling and marketing. We were literally looking at week on week, month on month charts of new riders that we're acquiring on the platform, new drivers, and new rides we were having. And we were having sometimes anywhere from high 2-digit to 3-digit week on week or month on month changes. Now, for the capitalists in me and the capitalists in all of us, that looks fantastic. More rides, more business, more profit, more growth, and more valuation for the business. But when you look at Mother Nature and the intelligence of its design, it doesn't grow at the fastest rate possible. In fact, within cell biology, it's determined that there is an optimal growth rate so that all the resources of an organism do not redline at growth at all costs, but actually grow continuously at a sustainable rate. And so when we had this hyper growth at Uber, there were thousands of things cracking and breaking under pressure. It wasn't just our systems and automations, it was the people and the organization, including me. Yep. That's right, a doctor-mandated tonsillectomy to remove my tonsils after having had a tonsillitis 3 times in the space of like 3 months. Real burnout. Now, before I go any further, if you're putting your own profit and your self-interest above actually creating a lasting impact, this channel, this video, and our vibe is not a match. But if you're someone who's actually dedicated to serving people, giving them like a real transformation, maybe inspired by something you've overcome in the past, or you have a special gift or a talent that you know other people need in order to take their life to the next level in whatever area or niche that you are most passionate about, you're in the right place, my friend. So let's rock and roll. Now, first up, I just want to go head on with this concept that we are in a rush or a hustle, or that if you're not hitting some arbitrary deadline you've created for yourself, often a ridiculous milestone either in business growth or revenue or profit, by a certain age, in a certain timeline, or because everyone around you, probably skewed by survivorship bias, by who you're seeing in your news feeds, all seem to have made it and had their break. Often, firstly, we do not see the graveyard of years, if not even decades of failures that gave them the foundation to be where they were. But most importantly, just like those many cases of individuals that are reported to have won lottery, right? 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, and yet within 2, 3, 4 years, immediately having blown it all back and reverted to their former version of who they were. If you have not become the person or have the nervous system or capacity to hold the stress, the decision-making, the strategic guidance, and actually the wisdom and even just the experience to be able to maintain a certain level of success, because sure, some may strike it lucky, a viral video or a product they happen to release that absolutely pops off. But the dilemma is, if it's your first one out the gate, you don't know what it was that you did that caused the result, because you don't have enough of a track record to deduce and understand what worked. It's why the phrase one-hit wonders exists. Because if you come straight out the gate with a banger, that's potentially one of the most crippling and damaging experiences you can have, because it recalibrates your bar for success and expectation up there and gives you the crippling anxiety when you realize you can't actually follow up or maintain that standard going forwards. And so I am infinitely grateful for the mentors I've had both in sport and in business and other aspects of my life, that they have enabled me to fail and to suck for an indefinite period of time when getting started. It's nearly like as if that long period of getting punched in the face and questioning yourself is the prerequisite. It gives you the resilience and the foundation so that when success does come in whatever form that looks like to you, you're actually able to hold it and everything that comes with it. So not only is the timeline or the outcome sometimes just way too delusional or exaggerated to be grounded in reality, the vehicle or even the journey itself is misrepresented. I have seen firsthand and experienced firsthand when trying to operate with this like near impatience about trying to achieve a goal, and this gap between expectation and reality just chews away at your mental health, cripples you with self-doubt, doesn't actually let you enjoy the journey. Now, I'm not saying every single day is meant to be rainbows and butterflies. But what I'm saying is when you have found the thing that is your route, your middle path, the centering calling that you have in your life that is the mean between the extremes, the pain, the pleasure, the depressions, the elations, the breakdowns, the breakthroughs, the highs and the lows, when you are able to ground yourself and poise yourself in the center path, you'll be able to pull down the highs and bring yourself up from the lows and continue taking one step in front of the other. But when so many people operate in this delusion of only having to work 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a day, there's no hard work, everyone's a dream client, and there's no grind. When your expectations are calibrated against this is meant to be easier, guess what? As soon as it gets hard, you give up. You know, we love being sold easy. We love being sold silver bullets because the removable pain is sexy and easy to sell. But guess what, my friend? By not enabling yourself or your clients or your customers to learn how to embrace whatever problems or challenges are on their journey, you're robbing them of the ability to build their own self-resilience. And unfortunately in this space, there are a lot of bad eggs or bad operators that are totally aware of that. They know it's going to create a dependency on them as the guru, as the expert, that whenever their individual keeps having failures and false starts, they need to keep investing in more programs or buying more stuff or staying on as a coach. Whereas one of the most powerful statements I ever got from the first big coaching investment I ever made from arguably one of the best coaches I've ever had in my life that I think has shaped a lot of my philosophy and ethos is he says, if I've done my job like a driving instructor, you won't need me by the end of it. It's the most counterintuitive statement when it's against his financial interest to have a client actually be self-empowered and able to go and manage and lead themselves versus staying on for an ongoing retainer. But that was one of my filters to gauge and said, this is a true operator. This is a master. This is a sage. This is someone that is inspired by real impact and real influence, not just their income. But ironically, by focusing on the first two, the last one takes care of itself. And so in these closing moments, I wanted to shout out and recognize a couple of Australian-based coaches, leaders, experts that I think are doing absolutely remarkably and have been for a long time. And they are some that I really align with. The irony is none of them are under the age of 30. They've all been doing this for a while and they have a track record that shows their commitment, love, and undeniable results that they've generated for themselves and for so many others in their lives. The coach that I touched on earlier, his name is Tommy Bellman, a fantastic mentor, a fantastic human, the founder and CEO of Mantastic, Australia's leading men's business and lifestyle coaching program. Number 2, Lewis Mocker, founder of School of Mastery. I've been a member of his program for 2, 3, 4 years right now. I'm not too sure. It is, at the time of this recording, a 100 to 150 Australian dollar subscription per month. And after the dozens of masterminds and courses I've invested, it still has the highest quality materials and curriculum I have ever experienced. I'm going to link him below if you want to check him out. And last but not least, Taki Moore, another Australian legend who has been in this game for decades with an undeniable track record of millions of dollars worth of results for his clients, who's unapologetically himself in the way that he shows up in all of his content. And having just joined his Black Belt program just a couple of weeks ago, it's very clear to me as to again why he has the reputation and the results that he stands for. I hope this video has given you a couple of practical ideas and ways to screen and filter and discern who's a real one and who's worth investing in and who's just a come and go trend. If they've been committed to this and scaling slowly and sustainably over a long period of time, they're probably the one to go with. I hope this served you. I'll see you soon.